second important most art at any given time, even if you may be very busy outside, you may be totally free within. So your inner time, that's the art to be learned. It's a parallel running time, and nobody can encroach your inner time, anytime. So if you can learn that art, I think this question will go away. I hope I've answered your question.
You asked about comparison, total comparison and
Competition.
And competition. But we are all, everybody is always in comparison. So how do you know?
Well, to some extent, I agree that suppose you are doing a business and you like to see how others are doing business. One aspect is learning aspect, that's fine. But when you are trying to be happy by comparing that he is doing this much, so I should do more. And that's what probably leads to problems. See, I'm in a practice. My mind may say that he is doing more surgeries than me. But if I leave that aside, I'm trying to do what better and better I can do day by day. So I'm trying to do naturally the best, but not in comparison to somebody, how many numbers he or she is able to do. So comparison, when it is this goes into an ego fight level or ego disturbance level, it becomes a problem. For learning, I always see who is better than me at the surgery and I try to learn from him, but not in a way that sort of adverse comparison. So that's what I feel, that routinely comparison and competition are driving us to relate our happiness to, as I said, I have a good car, mid-size Toyota, and Geeta Ben has Lexus big. Why not I have a Lexus? Doesn't look good. In a ceremony I go, she comes with a Lexus and I have a small minimal. How does it look? So this is what is bothering the humankind. Status. Comparison. Okay, so please.
I don't have a question, but I have just comment I can say.
Sure.
See, like here they say, like, we have $20,000 car parked outside the garage. Garage is full of junk.
Yeah.
And same thing applies in spirituality. We carry so much garbage, look about outside, and never pay attention what is our peace is lost.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Garbage
No, very good point. See, last flying comment. Sometimes when he keeps me sending so many things, I can even look at everything. He sent me something. There was some person from here, very successful, at very young age, very busy, very hectic. Then all of a sudden he realized that I achieved a lot of dollars and very big empire of business, but my wife left me, my kids are leaving me, and all of a sudden he realized that I am handling so many things which are really not important for me, and I'm missing out on important things. So he made a project to clear all the clutters, and then he went to the things which are really giving me joy and happiness and which are important for me. So somebody said that please spare some time for relations, otherwise when you need relations, nobody will have time for you. Okay, so well said. Okay, thank you very much. We move on to the next.
Let's keep it.
Inner capacity is different.
No, that's what I'm saying, but I should be happy with whatever I have. That's what the aphorism said, enjoy whatever is available and in front of you, and do not bother for the things unavailable. But so many times the human mind drives us, and even somebody says that keeps us driving, otherwise will not be driven or motivated. They add on to that. But that should not be the point. Okay, thank you.
I won't take that long.
Yeah.
It's quite important in economy. When we're talking about children, my children were growing up until they were teenagers and then went to college. Everything was fine. We will talk, whatever I say, they would hear, and then they would come to us, both the parents, to ask and discuss things. Once, especially my daughter, she got married at a young age, and she would come and talk to me. And I started talking to her in a different way. And then after 3-4 sessions, we always talk. She said, Mom, do you know, you always say I.
Yeah.
You know, have you ever thought,
We.
yeah, or it's like, I did this, I did that, you know, they're doing this to me, she's doing that to me. I say like, don't, so she really taught me something, I mean, at a young age with, she
Yeah.
had like a big family, she was in a joint family, and she was only 21. But she was going to school, working, taking care of her in-laws, and she had a grandfather-in-law.
Common sense and wisdom.
Right. So.
And lot of wisdom can come living the life, because the life teaches you every day some or other thing. So from the experiences you take positively something, you learn out of life.
Right, and always smile on her face.
Yeah, that's good.
You can, if you hear something, I mean, that what she went through, nobody can.
I would say that's very good. That's very good. Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's give him a hand.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mehta. This was good conversation, and keep this coming, because, you know, the purpose of this seminar is not talk, but talk among all ourselves. So there's very good questions, and in the afternoon we have lots of time to be doing this and practice some of the things. You know, I just heard people say we catch up a lot of stuff, but how much we put into practice, that is very important. We can say 50 million things that guy said, that guy said, that guy said, but what is how we take that? So with that one, please give me permission to dwell on my experience of holistic science. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, 35 years in Pittsburgh, now I moved to Allentown. I'm going to talk about my mundane life before 1993 and then my meaningful life after 1994. Like everybody knows, it was a fast paced, tension-filled, worry-filled. There was no purpose. At that time, the real purpose, the goal of life was get my master's degree, earn money, support my family, have a social circle, and be active in it, organizations. But what was the ultimate goal? No idea at all. Money, of course, money. What was my social economic life? Having a great job, thank goodness, good salary, and I used to get good promotion. Social life, a wonderful family. Spiritual life was active in temple activities, spiritual growth, if you call it, from temple activities, and I had exposure to a lot of Swamijis from Rishikesh and saints. But what was that was all outside. What was inner? What was I feeling at the time? I thought I was the doer. I could do everything. And I took the glory for taking everything, and like somebody said, I. And of course my drawbacks were other people's problem. Anger, pride, attachment, greed, they never seem to decrease, but they always seem to increase, and at times, you know, when something went really good, it was at the top of the, I was on top of the mountain. But with all this stuff, lots of worries and tensions. And then inner happiness I found out was temporary, you know. One day I was happy, sometimes unhappy, ups and downs, life goes ups and downs. And other main thing, I was never worried about other people, never worried about other people's feelings or ego. And I didn't know that I was doing anything wrong with other people. So that was my mundane life. So what happened in 1994, I was introduced to holistic science. Okay? And then I found what was my ultimate goal of life was inner happiness, to be happy all the time. And then I understood who was the holistic science. I had exposure to Swamijis and the saints, but then I got a new definition, holistic science, which we talked about earlier, so I'm not going to dwell on that. And there was sudden change in terms of quiet, calmness, and then I started feeling that from that day, my journey to liberation internally had just started. So that was my initial feeling in 1994. What did holistic science did to me? It taught me, just like Dr. Mehta said earlier, taught me to do a systematic internal daily occurrence reflection and make sure that I was not deviating from my goals, and make sure that I was every day trying to go in a better and in a way. Like I explained earlier, you know, we always have feelings based on our 5 senses, okay? And then scientists, holistic science really gave me tool to go inward and assess situations as they come. And my objective all of a sudden changed from external material objective and prestige to finding my own mistakes. What am I doing? What wrong am I doing? What wrong I did in interactions and all that. So that was more stuff, and that helped me in the young lady's question, you know, that everything started flowing smoothly and not running after or going after things or thinking, hey, I do so much to do. All the calmness started. And then really thing which pointed to me was, am I hurting other people? Am I hurting other people's feelings? And that really, really tried to improve my family life, because, you know, before that, of course, I was a husband and I was a father, so they had to do whatever successful I had my way. That all started going downhill. And then that started bringing the inner happiness. And what are some of the tools that helped me? We talked about it. Just everywhere was always on the back of my mind. Suffer is at fault. If I'm suffering, it's my fault and not somebody else's fault. Avoid clashes. This was happened all the time, especially in my business. There was a lot of clashes. Avoid clashes. I was responsible for myself. Cannot blame anybody else. And this really created positivity. All negativity started disappearing. And like I said, basic understanding. Somebody called me stupid or this or that. That never started bothering me. My younger son always said, Dad, you were before, your anger was very high. And then he started learning and saying, hey, Dad, I see an improvement in you. Because that was something positive, you know. And when some questions to query inside comes out, you know, then your decision really changes, your belief changes, and then that's where, if you believe in karmas, that's where you can turn off making new karmas by that decisions. So the greatest improvement was my mind. It was no longer bothering mind, you know, because I could see myself, I could see my mistakes, so mind didn't have bothering with. And chitta, or the wandering reflective consciousness, which was wrong about, and I think we'll talk about it in the afternoon, started coming internally, so that started the happiness. And other thing was, there's no grudges left, you know. I was a manager plus whatever in the business, and as you know, there's always, you know, biases by people, your employees and all that stuff. But then anybody who gave me hard time at the time of evaluation, that was not even considered a point in his evaluation. So that really helped me in developing myself and the other people. Now, why do we call this as a science? So, because once you start knowing your errors, you know the biggest culprits of our life, anger, pride, attachment, and greed start decreasing, which I could see, and my son, younger son, also testified it, so I feel that this science was working within me. And it was also giving me inner joy. Who makes you suffer? I finally figured it out that anger, pride, attachment are the ones who make you suffer, nobody else. So that realization really, really helps. And that becomes a rich, living partnership within me. And patience really grew to me. Biggest other advantage, what I was, like Dr. Mehta just said, you know, I started getting tuned into the nature. And I felt naturally, because as a project manager, my last 3 jobs were more than $100 million jobs. I had people working all over the world. And what really turning into nature, it helped me calm down and take the situations really, really nicely and comfortably without any tension. And naturality came into myself and into my project, and I was able to complete them on schedule, before schedule sometimes, and I turned in more profit to the company than what they expected me to turn in. So this naturality really helped, and of course a lot of problems. Dealing with about 5 different country people, tremendous problem. But again, this really helped. Before, I used to work 15, 14 hours a day, bring work at home. When the children are sleeping, start working. But even last jobs, I never worked more than 8 hours. Everything just, it happened, and everything just took care of itself. So that's one thing which I'm really, really thankful for, is the naturality was really good. And I travel a lot. I used to travel a lot, and nothing bothered me. And you know what's happened in traveling, right? Always tension. I'm going to miss this country, I'm going to do this, I'm going to that, cancel a flight. You name it, and I want to go through every problems that possibly can happen. But it never bothered me. So that is another thing which is helping. A few more aphorisms of holistic science which has stuck with me. That everybody has puzzles of life. If holistic science is known to people, it would solve the puzzle. And that's why after retirement, I'm trying to learn more. I'm a student of this great encyclopedias here, and I'm trying to learn from them so I can talk more to the people. Instances and adamancy leads to suffering or suffering. Great example of my family who were just telling me I was totally insistent that I'm adamant on things. And of course now that's all gone away. Do not try to improve others, but try to improve yourself with it. So once I started doing that, I don't have to tell my wife or my children what they need to be doing. And religion begins with obliging nature. That we said, mutual obligation is a privilege of human being, and that's when naturality comes. So this is a little bit of my sharing of holistic science. And so thank you very much for listening. With that one, we'll give you a 15-minute break before we do the next session. Okay? Thank you.